This is ABC 7 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Peter Dubois. First, tonight, the Bangor school system is implementing new ways to keep its students safe. Our Devin Dagnall has more.
Learning can only happen when kids feel safe, and I think they do here. And I think the tools that we've identified and the things that we've put in place will only help line us up with the district.
The Bangor school system has completely overhauled how it's keeping its students safe. One of the latest changes the school system has made is partnering with Centegix, a company that is innovating how schools communicate within their own walls and with the authorities. Centegix produces cards roughly the same size as a credit card with a single button on the front. According to Ray Finney, Bangor's school safety director, the button allows teachers to more efficiently send notifications to officers of any threats that may be in the school.
This is actually very easy in that they'll pick up their lanyards that they all wear, they'll take their card, push a button multiple times, and it automatically calls.
When the button is pressed 3 times, it will alert the administration of any low-level threats in the high school. Pressing the button 9 times will immediately notify authorities that there's a higher level threat.
According to Paul Butler, Bangor High School's principal, Bangor schools are the first schools in all of New England to implement the innovative Centegix cards.
It's kind of exciting to be on that leading edge, but it's, a reminder that we're in a new age of ensuring safety. So we've taken a new step to make sure we're as prepared as anybody to manage any situation that comes up.
In Bangor, I'm Devin Dagnall, reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22.
After being awarded a grant from the Maine Department of Education, the Schoodic Institute received a visit from the department's commissioner. Matthew Jurancic has more.
Maine Education Commissioner Pender Macon visited the Schoodic Institute in Winter Harbor Friday morning to spend time with students taking part in the Institute's Education Adventure program. The program was funded from the Maine Department of Education's Outdoor Learning Initiative. Macon says this type of learning is what works best for the kids.
This is exactly the type of learning experience that would stay with a person for the rest of their lifetimes. They are in beautiful nature, they are using technology, they're integrating writing, art, science, all of the skills that we want them to learn, and they're doing it all together at one time.
The program helps students learn more about nature topics, including climate change and mapping. This program received the funding from the state through the Maine Outdoor Learning Initiative. Schoodic Institute CEO and President Nick Fisicelli says he's grateful for the opportunity.
And we're really thankful to the state of Maine for the Maine Outdoor Learning Initiative, which is helping to support schools and students coming here for this program and getting kids outside of the classroom, so beyond the walls of a classroom, to have these really meaningful learning experiences.
And while the Schoodic Institute does use online technology to help students learn, they also like to use the environment around them and draw pictures.
It's been great because they also get to be outside, and learning outside really helps them connect to the world around them.
And the kids love this hands-on learning.
It's been great, to be honest.
Being here has been really fun. It's good to learn about the nature that's around us and hiking and all these different trails.
It's been pretty fun. We've been learning how sciencey things.
Macon is excited for what's to come.
We are moving, into an exciting recovery phase from some of the hardest years we've experienced in public education. These are kids who are collaborating, they are outdoors, they're experiencing deep and meaningful learning, and so it's fabulous, and I'm full of gratitude.
Matthew Jurancic, ABC 7 and Fox 22.
Meanwhile, the family of a missing man recently announced a reward increase in hopes of engaging more people to help them in their search. AJ Douglas talked to the mother about the latest search efforts.
We think that we've done a good job searching around Bangor, and my husband and I have certainly traveled many other places in the state, but the woods, the remote areas, farther away from urban areas have not really been searched thoroughly.
Friday, Latcher's family asked community members to join them at the Bangor Public Library as they prepare flyers to send to hunting tag stations across the state, asking hunters and guides to be on the lookout as fall hunting season has begun.
The many scenarios that we've had to consider is that he somehow made his way to an unoccupied cabin that had food stocks and has been able to manage to survive.
Scully says if you see someone matching Letcher's description, take note of where you are and do not follow him. She also shares words to him, hoping he is listening.
Following him is not likely to bring him to safety. It might actually drive him into more hiding. Let us help you. Come home. We can work out whatever it is that you are concerned about.
Scully expressed gratitude for what she calls overwhelming community support, but says better protocols need to be in place when searching for individuals living with mental health illnesses. Scully says people should talk about mental health diseases more to break down a dangerous wall of silence.
He does make decisions that endanger his life because of his autism and his schizophrenia.
A spokesperson from Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife says the department has always helped with searches and are happy to lend support in the Letcher search as well. In Bangor, AJ Douglas, ABC 7, Fox 22.
We hear from a lot of fire departments in the state talking about needing more recruits. Well, today, the Penobscot County Fire Academy added more than 24 new firefighters to the mix to help fill the ranks. The Academy's class of 2022 graduated this afternoon at the Bangor Fire Department training facility. 26 new firefighters graduated after an intense training program that started back in June and first included online learning before transitioning into hands-on learning. Academy Director Chad Bean says it's only the beginning for these young recruits.
This is the foundation of any firefighter's career right here. This gives you the basics. This doesn't make you an experienced firefighter by going through our program. This gives the foundation that we need to be able to build upon. So as you work through your career, you can just continue to build and build and build and be the very best you can be by the end. By the end.
Several departments were represented in this year's class, including Bangor, Orrington, East Millinocket, and Eddington, to name just a few. We wish all of those new recruits the best of luck in their future endeavors. And as we turn our attention to the outdoors, another nice crisp fall day out there. But to find out what's coming our way, we'll take a first look at our forecast now.
Thank you so much, Peter. And it's Friday. It's almost the weekend. Our first weather today is brought to you by Goose River Farm Meat Store. All right, let's get right into those temperatures for today. We had a high of around 64 earlier in Bangor, some lower 60s by the coast. Rockland coming in at 57 degrees. Still some nice fall weather outside. Really enjoyable at that. Our average closer to 65 degrees. Take a look at Saturday, 65 for Saturday. Sunday, we really cool off into those mid-50s and then slightly climbing that ladder into those mid to upper 60s by Thursday. So warmer weather will be back, don't you worry. And our waters, our oceans are still a little bit on the warmer end. So this is one of the last chances to really go out and about and enjoy some summer to fall vibes outside, maybe on the waters, because we will really start to cool off very, very shortly. Right now, some mostly clear skies, but take a look at these clouds. Most of these are associated with Hurricane Ian well to the south. It is in South Carolina right now, but it is extending well far north with the cloud cover. Tonight, though, will be pretty clear, but clouds will be sticking around, but temperatures will be cooling off into the 40s. Peter?
Alrighty, Conrad, thanks so much. We'll check in with you in a little bit. And in the meantime, coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, the Department of Transportation considers whether to strengthen the Deer Isle Causeway. We'll tell you why. And the Maine CDC warns people to be on the lookout for deer ticks, which are especially active this time of year. We'll have those stories and much more as ABC 7 News at 6 continues.
Don't believe the lies from Washington's special interests.
Jared Golden's a different type of Democrat. I respect that Jared served in the Marines.
Jared's a friend of law enforcement, and we definitely can trust them to keep our communities and families safe.
Jared is standing strongly against defunding the police.
This endorsement was not a given. Congressman Golden's earned it.
Mr. Golden will definitely fight for us and be in our corner and have our backs, absolutely.
I'm Jared Golden, and I'm honored to approve this message.
Hey, how are you?
I got your order back this way.
Thanks.
How are you? Hey, how are you doing? Come on in, sit down.
We're your neighbor, your friend, your banker. Skowhegan Savings.
Joe Baldacci was born, raised, and educated right here in Bangor. He's promoted and supported hundreds of millions of dollars in commercial and economic development projects. He has fought to protect vital services from drastic budget cuts. In his first term in the state Senate, Joe delivered for his constituents in Bangor and Herman on jobs, school funding, expansion of health care, and protecting the environment. Joe Baldacci, delivering results for the people of Bangor and Herman.
I'm 82 years old and I have collapsed arches, which means the first thing that hits the ground is the bone in my arch. I came to Comfort Shoes 4 years ago because I couldn't walk without pain. And you spend so much time on my feet getting the right shoe, and we finally found the right pair. Once you made these orthotics for me, I have no pain. These are so comfortable. I have no discomfort. I feel like I could go running, and I thank you and Comfort Shoes for that.
Offensive and divisive. That's Paul LePage's legacy. But it's not just what he said as governor. It's what he did. LePage slashed funding for cancer screenings for women. He refused to invest in clean energy, kicked over 1,000 seniors off their prescription drug program, and even opposed funding to Meals on Wheels. So, if that's what Paul LePage did last time he was governor, we can't send him back. The top funder of A Better Maine is the Democratic Governors Association.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. The Department of Transportation is considering whether to strengthen the Deer Isle Causeway to protect it against rising sea levels. As Craig Colson reports, some believe it's also an opportunity to help boost marine life in the area.
It's hard to beat the view from the Deer Isle Causeway on days like today, but when the weather is severe, the water can cover the road with rocks and debris, forcing it to close. That can cause big problems for residents, and is also why the state is considering strengthening the roadway to prepare for rising sea levels over the decades ahead.
One interesting idea came up at a recent meeting from a local fisherman. He thinks it would be a good idea to raise a portion of any future causeway above the water to allow any baby scallops or other sea creatures to come from that side of the bay to the other.
If we can get a bridge across part of it to allow that cooler water from the eastern Maine coastal current through and the larvae that it carries with it.
Marsden says there are hundreds of species of aquatic life that float in the currents before dropping to the bottom where they continue to grow. But they've been blocked from reaching the other side since the causeway was built back in the 1920s.
Getting things open back up, allowing, it to breathe.
Those environmental concerns will be considered as the DOT moves ahead with any future plan. In Deer Isle, Stonington, this is Craig Colson reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22.
And while fall is, of course, a great time of year for outdoor adventures and even just outdoor work, it's also an important time to be extra cautious when it comes to ticks. The Maine Center for Disease Control and Prevention says adult deer ticks are especially active this time of year. They can carry Lyme and other diseases that can be devastating to those who are bitten. In fact, the CDC says Maine is on track to break records for Lyme disease and other diseases this year. And experts say fall is a time of the year when folks can get a little complacent.
We do tend to kind of let our guard down in the fall as those temperatures drop because we assume that all those biting pests are going away when its reality is just not the case. It's really one of our peak seasons for tick activity.
Dill recommends wearing protective clothing like long sleeves and pants if you plan on being in the woods or around shrubbery and leafy areas. He says use a good repellent that contains DEET or other tick repellents. Now that's also a good idea. You can even treat your clothes with tick repellent called permethrin, which Dill says works well and is long-lasting. It's also important to do tick checks after outdoor activities and not just lengthy outings.
Whether it be, going on a long hike or even it's something as simple as going to check the mail at the end of the driveway or drop something in the compost pile. even those types of activities is something that we should be mindful of and conducting a tick check afterwards.
He also recommends to make sure your pets are up to date on preventative measures, the readily available Lyme disease vaccine, as well as flea and tick preventatives, which kill the pests and prevent them from hitching a ride indoors on your animals. If you see a bullseye rash on your skin and think you may have been bitten by a tick, you should seek medical attention right away. Still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, a World War II Coast Guard veteran and Jonesport native receives a special recognition. And in sports, the latest on Mac Jones. He was at practice, but will he play on Sunday? Tyler Cruz has all our answers right after the break.
Janet Mills' education department was teaching kindergartners radical transgender policies. Now it's pushing a curriculum telling students they're racist if they use certain terms. All lives matter, mass incarceration, calling the police on black people, all racist. Janet Mills closed our schools and our kids fell behind. And now she's pushing her radical education agenda. No more politics in schools, no more Janet Mills. The top funder of the Maine Republican Party is the Republican Governors Association.
At Home, Kitchen, Bath, and Flooring in Dover Foxcroft are proud members of the Flooring Network here in Maine. We have our flooring installers on staff ready for you and your custom flooring project. With over 50 years of combined experience, we'll work with you from start to finish, including demo and cleanup. Backed by the Flooring Network's state-of-the-art warehouses, we have a massive inventory to provide you with the best value and fit any flooring budget you may have. So stop in, meet our flooring experts, and see what we can do to make you feel at home.
Leona May's Antique and Gift Shop is now open in Newport. Our unique building is a converted 1800s single-family home that we've given a new life to. A home for treasures, from antiques, collectibles, unique gifts, and so much more. Come make the rounds throughout the many rooms on all 3 floors as you wander back in time or find a unique gift that's perfect for that special someone or that hard-to-buy-for relative. So come visit us today. Leona May's Antique and Gift Shop, 147 Main Street, Newport.
If you were hurt because of exposure to the toxic water at Camp Lejeune, Congress has made it possible for you to recover a settlement. Former Marine attorney James Beardsley wants to help you.
Call now to see if you qualify. Call 222-2222.
Mainers work hard, but Joe Biden's inflation is making life miserable. Heating oil costs are crushing Maine families. I'm Bruce Poliquin, and for too many, this means choosing between gas, groceries, or freezing. Biden and all Democrats created this mess, and they're making it worse. Congress needs more Maine common sense, not more spending on those who won't work or more taxes on those who do. I'm Bruce Poliquin, and I approve this message because Maine needs a congressman who will stand up to Biden and help Maine families.
With so much at stake, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 newscast and the #1 program on television.
Put a little more cash in your bank. Save money with half-off deals at foxbangor.com.
Welcome back in. Thank you for staying with us. Let's start things off with some breaking-ish news out of Foxborough. After a week of fun with Bill Belichick, and as you all may have predicted, Mac Jones will not play on Sunday in Green Bay. NFL Network and ESPN reported earlier in the week that Jones suffered a high ankle sprain. Belichick and the team never confirmed that news, though. They actually rolled Jones out at practice today to kind of stand still and play catch with Brian Hoyer. That's really all he did. But per Mike Reese this afternoon, Jones has officially been ruled out for Sunday's contest, and Axel Brian Hoyer will start in his place. I still think the Patriots can compete in that one. Let's stay in the area and just move on to the Celtics. Some good news for Celtics fans coming out of the Garden today. I wanted this to happen a few years ago, but it's better late than never, I guess. Per ESPN, Boston and Blake Griffin have agreed to a 1-year contract. Griffin is no longer the freak athlete that notoriously jumped over a car to win the dunk contest, but he does provide some much-needed front-court depth for Boston, and he can give Al Horford and Rob Williams some rest when they need it. And an interesting stat here, he was actually the league leader in charges taken last season, so the exact type of guy the Celtics like to have on defense. And the number 2 person in charges taken was Derek White, number 3, Marcus Smart. So some good stuff right there. We're going to stay with basketball and just head up to Orono, where the Black Bears are gearing up to defend their title as regular season champs. Maine opened up practice this Tuesday. Officially, that is. They were able to spend about 8 hours a week together in the summer. And they say that time together was huge. Black Bears ended last season 1 game short of the NCAA tournament, losing to Albany in the conference finals after rattling off 16 wins in a row. And their goal this year is to break through that barrier.
Practicing to end up playing in a championship game, and I just think, this year again, just with all our returners back, we know we have unfinished business, so we're ready to go.
I mean, obviously it's not fun. Like, we all would have loved to win that last game, but so for sure it's some motivation. But I mean, it's a new season. We have like multiple new players. I mean, we also have a lot of old players, but we're just excited to begin. Like, excited to start playing games again. It's been a while.
Maine only lost 2 players from last year, both starters, but they have a good core returning, as well as 5 newcomers when you count freshmen and transfers, including 2021 Miss Maine basketball JC Christopher from Skowhegan. JC has been training with the Black Bears since she got on campus in July. She says there is a lot to learn, but she's excited to get going.
It's been really exciting being on campus. I got here at the end of July, and it's been really great just to be able to be with the team and be working out together. There's a lot to learn as a freshman coming in, defensively and offensively, but I feel like we've made pretty good progress, and I'm just really excited.
Let's stay with the University of Maine now. A big matchup for field hockey Friday afternoon on the road against UMass Lowell. Maine looking for their 6th straight win. Lowell looking for their 7th straight win. So kind of a battle of the best to start the year right now in America East. First quarter here, Mia Borley flashing the stuff early, getting going. She extends to make this save on a shot from Madison Leeper, and we would go into halftime scoreless. Let's move on to the third quarter now. Lowell is on the penalty corner, but it's Borley again. She's actually going to pick up 2 saves here in about a 10-second span, so we are still scoreless. We're going to head into the fourth quarter now. Just under 3 minutes to play, just over 2 minutes to play. The Black Bears would get going off of the corner. It's Poppy Lambert from Chloe Walton finding the back of the cage. Borley would hold for the final minutes, and Maine extends their win streak. 1-0 is the final. Big win for the Black Bears right there. We have Sports Blitz tonight on ABC 7 at 11, brought to you by Coastal Auto Parts and Dorsey Furniture. All the football news to catch you up with. You are not going to want to miss that. But that is all the time we have for sports. Here is Conrad Sapinski with your full 5-day forecast.
Thank you so much. Our Maine weather today is brought to you by Varney Ford in Newport. They give 1 full year maintenance on every new and used vehicle they sell. Come visit them and see their huge selection of cars and trucks. The nice car and truck people. All right, lots of clear weather in our area, but take a look at some of these clouds starting to roll in. These are associated with Hurricane Ian, well to the south of us, all the way in South Carolina, but these clouds are extending all the way to the north. So that just shows you how massive Hurricane Ian was and is right now, that it has cloud cover all the way in our state. That cloud cover is going to be sticking around with us for the next couple of days. Most of the showers will be well offshore. It does look like a couple of sprinkles might be possible onshore, but overall we will be well offshore with all of that precipitation. Now let's talk about temperatures. We had some really warm temperatures finally make it into the Midwest, the upper Midwest. Lots of 60s and 70s all the way from Illinois all the way to Wisconsin. And those warm temperatures are continuing across the East Coast, a little bit cooler, closer to South Carolina where Hurricane Ian is at the moment. But overall, we are looking nice. Temperatures earlier today were in the 60s. We had a high of around 64 in Bangor. Bit cooler by the coast, of course. They're having a little bit of a breeze with those cooler waters, but still nice and enjoyable weather. Let me mention and talk about Hurricane Ian for a second. It did hit Florida, closer to Fort Myers area. That devastated Naples area. Fort Myers had an extreme amount of storm surge, record-breaking over 7 feet, even over 10 feet in some locations. Now it's in South Carolina, and it is still brewing, producing lots of heavy rain. Storm surge still moving in by the coast. Lots of flooding and some higher wind gusts at that. But looking ahead overnight tonight and then into tomorrow, it's going to really weaken. Wind speeds are going to be on the lower end, but don't get fooled. The rain will still be coming in. So there will still be some flooding in North Carolina, those areas there the next 24 hours. Here in Maine, though, temperatures around 43 degrees tonight. Mostly cloudy skies. Those clouds associated for the most part with Hurricane Ian. Tomorrow, though, look at these highs, close to 65 degrees. Really nice and enjoyable weather with those mostly cloudy skies sticking around, but our extended forecast outlook does show cooler weather will be back by Saturday night into Sunday. High temperatures on Sunday and Monday in the 50s before warmer temperatures by Tuesday and Wednesday. Peter?
All right, so our 5-day outlook still looking very nice overall. Thanks so much, Conrad, and we have more to come after the break, so stay with us.
Lots of Bob's Red Mill, lots of bakeware, lots of paperware. Fall's the time to get to Rennie's.
Well, so how much is this pancake?
$4.49.
Now you're talking turkey.
Thank you for shopping locally.
When it looks the part, but isn't the real thing, that's Fool's Golden. Jared Golden promised he'd be an independent fighter against Biden's spending, but then cast a deciding vote for Biden's newest spending bill that experts say will hike taxes $1 billion on those making under $50,000. Golden may think we're fools, but his recent vote shows Mainers what he's really made of. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
When outdoors, some people like it hot and some people like it cold. However, when indoors, most people like it comfortably warm. Choose a Boderas boiler from McCusick Petroleum Company to provide you with comfortable and efficient heat. They also offer sales and service on many brands of furnaces, boilers, and water heaters. McCusick Petroleum Company delivers oil and LP gas to homes and businesses throughout the Pequot region. If you'd like more information on pricing or service, call or stop by our office in Dover Foxcroft.
Does your plug-in fade too fast? Try Febreze Fade to 5 plug. It has built-in technology to digitally control how much scent is released to smell first day fresh for 50 days. La, 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 la.
Better skin from your body wash? Try Olay Body Wash with skincare super ingredient collagen. Olay Body Wash hydrates for healthier looking skin in just 14 days. From dry and dull to firm and radiant. With Olay Body, I feel fearless in my skin.
Hey, it's Eric from Green Bear 420. We've been in business since 2010 and going strong, so stop in and check us out. We specialize in glass art by over 100 local artists and even have live glass blowing. Plus, we carry incense, novelties, t-shirts, and hard-to-find items. We have tons of local products for the tie-dye wearing person in your circle of friends. Come see us at 531 Moosehead Trail in Newport. And remember, Green Bear 420, it's not just a store, it's a lifestyle.
Tonight, the dangerous rescues along Ian's path of destruction as the storm heads north, threatening even more communities, tracking where and when it strikes next. More Americans turn to World News Tonight with David Muir, the most watched program on all of television.
Welcome back, and finally tonight, for many veterans, even after they depart the service, the connection to the military never fades. Well, one trailblazing Maine veteran got to spend a very special birthday being honored by the branch with which she served. Meet newly minted Centurion Florence Manchester Smith, a World War II Coast Guard veteran and Jonesport native. She turned 100 years old this week and celebrated the milestone with her fellow Coast Guard Sector, Northern New England, and Station Jonesport members. Smith joined the Coast Guard SPAR unit 79 years ago in 1943. They were the all-female workforce that was mobilized in World War II to fill jobs on the mainland, freeing up men to fight abroad and at sea. SPAR is an acronym that stands for the Coast Guard's motto, Semper Paratus, always ready. Smith was the first SPAR from Jonesport, and she served in multiple roles, including transcribing confidential paperwork. When she married her husband, she received a convenience discharge, since married women were not allowed to serve in the military at the time. She remained connected to the Coast Guard station in Jonesport ever since. This week at the station, Smith was presented with a letter of appreciation and a coin from Admiral Linda Fagan, Commandant of the U.S. Coast Guard. When asked, "What do you think of women in the military?" Smith said, "Oh, I love it. Someone told me once that I was a pioneer. I guess I am," end quote. And she certainly is one, and we want to recognize her for her service and for trailblazing the way for many others to come behind her. All right, well, that's going to do it for all of us tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in. We hope you have a great rest of your evening. Good night, everyone.